everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious homemade vegan bacon, egg, and cheese. So first we're going to make our vegan bacon and we're using tempeh for this. And as always, the full written out recipe is on my blog and you can find all the ingredients written out down below and anything I think you may need. So I took my little tempeh out of its package and I'm just going to cut it into 12 slices, 12 like thin slices. We don't want these to be too thick so that way they get really nice and crispy. Now you can always prep this tempeh ahead of time if you want. You know, you could do it the day before or whatever. So then we're going to make our marinade. So we're doing some low sodium soy sauce. We're doing maple syrup. We got garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, black pepper, and a little water. Mix this up and then we're just going to pop the tempeh in there. You want to let it marinate for at least an hour, but like I said, you could do this ahead of time. You could do this the night before. You could make this tempeh bacon and then keep this in the freezer or something and use it when you want. I wanted this recipe to be super meal prep friendly, so that way I know we're heading into back to school season, back into the routine season. So this is a great way to meal prep an easy breakfast. So I'm going to set this aside for an hour to let it marinate. And if you've never made tempeh bacon before, it is so good. You have to try. Okay. While that's marinating, we're going to make our vegan eggs. So we're taking chickpea flour, a bunch of seasonings, turmeric, garlic powder, salt, black pepper, nutritional yeast. And then we're also going to add in some baking powder to help give this a lift while it bakes in the oven. Whisk all your dry ingredients together and then you're going to add in your wet ingredients. So super easy. You're adding in some vegan yogurt. I like the Kite Hill Greek style yogurt and non-dairy milk. I'm using Ripple. And then you just whisk it all up until it's well combined. You can also do this in the blender if you want, but honestly, I did it in the blender the day before when I tested the recipe, but I just didn't feel like using the blender this time, so I just whisked it and it was super easy. So it's like whatever you want to do, and you want this to be a really nice, smooth, essentially a batter, but you want it to be nice and smooth. If you have it being like clumpy, then add in some water. So then you want to take either an 8x8 baking dish or a 9x9, throw a little spray oil in there. You're going to pour in the little chickpea egg batter that we made, and then we're going to crumble in some firm tofu, and this is going to add super egg-like consistency to it. It adds like a different texture in there, and also of course some awesome plant-based protein in addition to everything that we got in the batter already. And I was like kind of skeptical when I was like going to try this, and it really made a difference. I really liked it, so I definitely recommend you try it. So then you're just going to mix it into the chickpea batter because you want it to be like coated and integrated in there. It kind of almost gives off like an egg white feel. So once you have it like all integrated and like smooth out on top, we are going to actually bake this with a water bath. So you need a big baking dish, fill it up with like 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch of water, pop that in there, cover this with foil, and you're going to bake it at 375 for 20 minutes. And it's just going to go in the oven. You're going to let it do its thing. And after the 20 minutes, you're going to pull open the oven. You're going to remove the foil and be careful because it will be hot because you're going to have like steamy water in there. And it's like soft to the touch on top. So we want this to just finish cooking with the top getting like hardened essentially, but this creates a lot of moisture in there. Now back to our tempeh bacon. We're going to lay it all out on a baking sheet, like parchment paper, and then I'm going to take the rest of that marinade in there and just wipe it over top with a silicone brush. And I like to do both sides, so I swipe the one side, flip them, swipe the other side. This goes in the oven at 375 for 15 minutes. Our little vegan egg is done. I let it cool for a few minutes before trying to remove it from the pan. It's just going to be too hot otherwise. So I took a spatula, went around the edges, and then I'm just going to take my cutting board, put it over top, and then we'll flip it out onto the cutting board. And always have to like cross your fingers and hope that this comes out, and luckily we got it out. Now I knew I wanted to make 6 breakfast sandwiches, so I cut it into 6 rectangles. If you want to cut these, you know, into a circle with like a ring cutter, you can. Obviously you'll have scraps on the side. You could save them, make them into like a little scramble or something. I didn't mind the big rectangle pieces. It's whatever you want to do. And are you ready? Look at this inside texture, and this is what I mean why the tofu makes a difference, because it kind of just like breaks up a little bit of the density of the chickpea flour and kind of gives like an egg whitey feel in there. It's really awesome. You have to try these, and they're delicious on their own. I'm going to use English muffins. These are the 647 English muffins. These are definitely vegan. I don't know, like a Thomas English muffin isn't because it has milk in there, so check the ingredients. And then our tempeh bacon is all done. Look at how good that looks. This is also great, obviously, of course, for BLTs, delicious. And now it's time to assemble our sandwiches. So we're gonna start by cutting our little English muffin open. And if you want to use toast or something, or a bagel, like whatever you're feeling, then we're gonna add 2 pieces of the tempeh bacon. One of my tempeh bacon it broke, so I have those. We're gonna add one of our vegan egg patties. We're gonna add some vegan cheese. In theory, I would love to have used a sliced vegan cheese, but I didn't have any, so we're using shreds. Works fine. And now that's it, done. So you're just gonna make all of these, and then you have the option to either freeze these, refrigerate these, obviously eat them right now. I popped a few in the oven, warmed them up to get the vegan cheese nice and melty. Just so good. I promise it's like delicious. So like I popped those in the oven, and then the other ones I just like wrapped in some foil. Those went in the freezer, and then you can either reheat these in like the air fryer, the oven, the microwave, whichever way like works best for you and your time schedule. And they're so delicious, and they're a great source of like plant-based protein in the morning. So really great for just like being on the go. And I had to show you, we got that vegan cheese all nice and melty in there. It looks so good. And that's pretty much it. Now you can enjoy this. And like I said earlier, the full rundown recipes on the blog. This is the last recipe for our summer season. So if you haven't seen the other ones in the summer season, go check them out. And even though this is like great for meal prepping and back to school, this is also great for taking to the beach, lake, boat days, pool days as we wrap up summer. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you in a few weeks with fall recipes. Bye.